Throwaway. Also, English is my third language, so please ignore grammatical mistakes. Leo and I married when I was 23. My parents weren't in picture since I was 17 for some other reasons. When I was 19, I was addicted to weed. I had severe depression because I was broke and could afford rent. I tried to commit suicide twice. I met Leo when I was 4 months sober. He knows my history well. We dated for only 6 months. Marriage was rushed because of his parents, and also I need support financially at that time. One of his parents' condition for marriage was for me to sign prenup agreement. We have 2 children. He was the breadwinner at that time while I took care of house. Also, I was pregnant within a month after our marriage. 2 years after my daughter Huma was born, I secured a job in communication-based industry, which pays me almost thrice what he earned at that time. This is the beginning of the financial and emotional abuse I suffered from him. Now that I am also earning, I requested him to share household chores. He refused to do any of it, even taking care of our daughter. Thus, my burdens only increased. He started to get jealous and greedy. Sometimes he muttered about how women who earn more than their husband will disrespect them. He started to demand my money. I always refused to give it to him. Then he started to fight me even for very small matters, and every time we fight, he will involve his mom. My mother-in-law will always take sides with him and started lecturing me. It's like 2 of them gang up on me. If I made a mistake, it's my fault. But if he makes a mistake, it's also my fault because I made him do the mistake. Well, I conceived again. I took maternity leave when I was 5 months pregnant. Our company only allows 8 months maternity leave, so I have to return 3 months after birth. Staying at home only increased his resentment for me. He has mild allergy for some fruits. He ate them frequently, so I always had to take care of him while also being pregnant and doing household chores. I endured all of this because if I seek divorce, he will take full custody of both my children, given my history of depression, drugs, and attempted suicide. I love my children. 3 months after my son Rob's birth, I returned to office. My application for WFH was denied while he was granted WFH in his company, so now he had more time to spend with children while doing nothing about chores. Around that time, I had considerable money saved, so I put a down payment on a house on my name. Since we had a prenup, he can't force his name on my house. He started to abuse me emotionally. He taught our daughter B-word for her to call me. Yes, a 7-year-old calling her mother word. Even though I know it's not her fault, I started resenting Huma. Even though Rob was still a child, he started his father's footsteps. I started to have anxiety. I suffered severe depression again. On the suggestion of my supervisor, I started therapy secretly. My therapist was a 50s lady. She was sympathetic to me. Her suggestion was that I feel resentment towards Huma and Rob because they are the only attachment I have with Leo. She told me that it's going to be a lose-lose situation for me either way if Leo and I didn't attend family and individual therapy, and I can't convince him to attend therapy. My therapy extended to 20 sessions before it ended. After that, I made the hard decision. I met a divorce lawyer and served Leo divorce papers. He was surprised, but I already packed my things before serving. I moved to my house while he was in phone with my mother-in-law. After a while, he called, which I didn't answer, so he started spam texting me. He told me that I won't get custody of our children, and he will never allow even visitation for me given my mental history. I didn't respond to any of that. Mother-in-law showed at my house and screamed in front of windows. I didn't call cops, but my HOA security took her away. Divorce took 8 months to finalize in 2018. We didn't have a family account. I didn't get custody, only supervised visitation, which I didn't use until now. I had to pay 15% of my salary for child support per both Huma and Rob, which I am happy to do so via court. After divorce, he tried to date again while posting pictures of his new girlfriend, only to rub me in the eyes. But that didn't last long because she didn't want to be a caretaker for our children while being disrespected by Huma. As far as I know, he is still single dad with 2. Mother-in-law called me 6 months after divorce, begging me to come back because she now realized how much I have done for him and our family. He had to do chores now, and when he asked for her help, she refused and berated him for the man-child he is. He is paying for a caretaker for 3 years now and is costing him more than twice what I pay to him via child support. I met Mohit through a client 2 years ago when COVID restrictions were relaxed. He understood my situation. He has 2 daughters from his late wife. They are longing for a mother figure, which I am happy to fill. We married 6 months ago, and now we're currently expecting. I am writing all of this because we are expecting a girl. Now, I feel like what my therapist said is coming true. I feel like I am replacing my children from previous marriage. It is 3 years since I last saw them. Both of them write me letters for Christmas, but I don't write them back. I want to move past it, but it is killing me inside. Moget also suggested I visit them for this Christmas, but I don't know how am I going to explain myself to them, especially Rob, since his mother disappeared without a trace for him. I know this isn't the correct sub, but I welcome advice regarding my situation. Thank you. This is merely an update. I just wanted to clarify some questions, some information that I didn't include in the original post, and a small update in the end. Is English really your third language? Yes, English is my third behind my native language and our national language. Do you really addicted to weed or it's just alcohol? Yes, weed actually. Near the place I live, farmers hide weed plants in between other crops. How are you able to write fluently in English? English was taught to us throughout our school life. What is your ethnicity? I don't feel comfortable revealing my country, but I am from South Asia. How come you're not given custody even though you're mentally depressed and attempted suicide many years ago? Because I attempted suicide again when Huma was 6. Is your current husband preventing you from reaching your children from previous marriage? No, in fact, it is opposite. He encourages me to meet them but understands my trauma. He meets them at least once every 2 months. They know him. He is the one brought their letters, but he doesn't force me to read them. How do you pay child support to your ex? There is an officer in court for this matters. He transfers the check from me to money for ex. Fees for this is very small. What is DV law in your country? DV as in domestic violence. Ex and his mom didn't assault me physically. It's only verbal and emotional abuse. It's hard to prove in court. Even if I had proved that in court, it still wouldn't make any difference according to our civil law. Why you left your kids with an abuser? As much as he is a shitty husband to me, he is a great dad to them, except the manipulation he pulled against me. He even left his girlfriend because she served him an ultimatum, either her or the children. He chose our children. So I followed my instinct at that moment. Still, that doesn't excuse me, I know. What if he abused the children on your absence? He won't. He loves them despite abusing me. And also, Moget meets them once every 2 months. You said you make 3x your ex's salary. Why can't you take him to court again for custody rearrangement? Unfortunately, money doesn't matter in court, since fathers have more rights when it comes to children, and given my mental health, court didn't do me any favor. Why didn't you use your visitations? Because X is the supervisor for my visitation. He requested the court to also allow mother-in-law as the supervisor. He did this to spite me, no doubt. Huma is Muslim name, Moget is Hindu name, and Leo is Christian name. What are you trying to convey here? I didn't know Huma is Muslim name. It's actually a short version of her actual name from our native language. Yes, me and X are Christians, and Moget is Hindu turned atheist. I didn't have much attachments to Christianity due to childhood trauma regarding churches. Why didn't you mention your ex, Bill? He died 8 months after our marriage before Huma was born. Is there anyone from your Bayo family is in contact with you? No. Are you still in therapy? Yes. How much you pay child support to your ex? In terms of American dollars, about $600. This is based on 15% of my salary in early 2019. This has to be adjusted every 2 years as per court, but we didn't change it as I also pay for other related expenses for our children, which is more than adjusted amount, so X didn't take me to court. How much he pays for caretaker? To caretaker from a professional agency, about $18K per year. This includes doing household chores and stuffs. As per court order, he sent me details of her. She is a 45-plus lady. Mohit met her. She seemed nice. You don't really contribute anything other than child support. I am so sorry, yes. Moket and my stepdaughters did send them letters and some gifts for their birthdays and Christmas. They don't force me to involve. What is the content of their letters? Just how they are doing, wanting to meet me. Asking for forgiveness from Huma. Why didn't you write them back? I had trouble thinking about them. I thought if I had cut contact, it would be best for both of us. Does Rob remembers you? Yes, our family portrait is still in hall as X informed Mohit, so he remembers me. Does Huma berates you in the letters? No. Does a 7-year-old girl really call you word? Yes, not really word. It's equivalent in our language. Does Huma uses word in letter? No. If you already know you're in an abusive situation before Rob was born, why did you give birth to him? I didn't know any better at that time. It's only about money before Rob was born. Your therapist seems like a good one. Why did you end your sessions? She moved to Canada for better opportunities before my divorce. Is your ex and the kids are in therapy? No. Ex lost his job in COVID, so I had to pay twice my child support for 13 months. So only kids are in school therapy, which I pay for. So do you think money equates mother's love? No, I didn't have a choice. Now, before the information, I would like to thank the amazing Redditor who actually offered her experience in a similar situation and how she regretted cutting them off, and I really appreciate her advice. And the people who chatted with me sharing their experience about being abandoned by their parents and how they felt. I actually cried after reading some of the comments. Mohit, also read your comments. Some messages targeted Mohit for causing alienation, so he got awkward but understood why you thought he is the reason. One of the reasons why I posted is because ex and mother-in-law invited me for this Christmas to their house. I didn't mention this in original for reasons I don't know. I am conflicted on this. That's why I posted this on this subreddit. As per the advice of my therapist, now Mohit, and I decided to take steps very slow for the time being. We decided to make video call to them during Christmas. Thank you. OP here. I had a little chat with you, OP. Posted here with permission. OP, hey Mustang, what's the motive behind your original post? OP, hi. If I am being honest, I wanted someone to assure me there is nothing I could do, or I am not a bad mom, or some consolation. That's why I posted here. But comments here are a bit harsh and cruel, but truth indeed. Some people exchanged their own experience in my situation and my children's situation to me. They offered their valuable advice. Thank you. I think this situation is sad for both me and her children. I will read comments here and welcomes any valuable advice. I know my posts were shared in multiple pages. Unfortunately, there are a lot of Redditors using abusive language in my chat. If you're reading this, please don't message me any horrible things. I am already dealing with a lot of things right now. Just comment here, please don't message me. I just want to get others' perspective here. And to the one Redditor who found my main account, I don't know how you found it, but it's definitely scary. I thought I'm being anonymous here. I don't have interest in entertaining your questions in my main, so I blocked you there but not here. That account is only for my work-related doubts and news. Please understand. My doctor advised me to take things slow and not to add stress when I am still pregnant. I had a panic attack 3 weeks ago, so I am going to follow his advice. So no video call, only letters for both Human and Rob for Christmas. If there is any improvement in 2 weeks, maybe a phone call on the day of Christmas. I am trying to write to them. Therapist gave some solid advice, but I also want perspectives from people who were abandoned by their loved ones. So advice is welcome. I know people are invested in my story, but I can't give you the drama you want. If all goes well, this Christmas is going to be the best day in my life. So unless anything significant happens, I won't update again before Christmas. I will update after New Year. Also, my stepkids want to celebrate Christmas. It's first time. So we planned for a big celebration in our house. Last time I celebrated Christmas wholeheartedly was like 5 years ago. So I feel excited too. So right now, I have to focus on 2 important things that I ignored for some years. Advanced Happy Christmas to you all. Thank you. I already wrote letters for both Huma and Rob. I plan to give Huma a £4 as Mohit told me she loves gaming. As for Rob, we are still discussing. I still don't know about the phone call. I don't think I will be mentally ready before Christmas. Sorry.